What is up, everybody? I hope your stopwatches still work because it's that time of year again where we're looking at the 40-yard dash, the 20-yard shuttle or 10-yard shuttle, whatever it is. How many bench reps can you do on the bench press? It is the time of year for the NFL Combine, one of the most exciting parts of the entire draft process, maybe one of the least important, though, for the actual athletic testing, unless you are a wide receiver or a running back, probably. Regardless, though, it is finally here. It'll be on Thursday. I'm recording this on Tuesday. Should be out by Wednesday. That was a lot of days. Like I said, one of the most exciting parts of the entire draft process because we all get to watch how fast these guys really are. And today we will be looking at a lot of guys that it is very important for them, or I think they will just absolutely shine at the combine, starting with the quarterbacks and J.J. McCarthy as our headline for the quarterbacks. So this is how we're kind of doing it. We're just doing it by position. I've got my kind of headline guy and then some other guys I will key in about. But why J.J. McCarthy, you might ask? Well, first of all, he's a pretty controversial prospect right now, if I do say so myself. And I think his arm talent is really going to show in the passing drills. And then, of course, his legs. I think he'll have a good 40 time if he does it. If he doesn't, that'll kind of suck. I really hope he does, though. I think it'll finally show his true athleticism if he does some of the shuttle and speed drills, because he does have a lot of athleticism along with his arm. And the arm talent should really show in the deep ball drill and the intermediate passing, I think. Other QBs, though, Joe Milton. Why is it important? Well, same thing as J.J. McCarthy. Joe Milton might have, though, the biggest arm in the entire quarterback class. And that I said in the quarterback ranking video as well. This dude seriously might have the most crazy arm we've seen since Josh Allen. No joke. He can throw it 70 yards at will. The question is, will it be accurate? It's really not the athleticism with Joe Milton that's going to people are going to be looking for. It's going to be, can he be accurate in the drills? Bo Nix, I think, could have a really impressive week with interviews you might hear, as well as his arm talent. I feel like people are kind of lacking, or not lacking, but kind of denying in a way his arm talent. I think he has a good arm, maybe not the biggest of the class, but he does have an arm that can make every single throw in an NFL offense. And then Michael Penix. I think athletic testing will be a decent chunk of his stock here at the combine, and then his physical. We all know the injuries, the 4 seasons straight at Indiana of season-ending injuries. The physical is going to be a huge part of his week in Indy at the combine. So on to running backs, my headliner, Braelon Allen out of Wisconsin. He is a Bruce Feldman freak guy because he is a absolute freak at 6'2", 245. You're going to see his strength pop. You're hopefully going to see his speed. If he can be around the 4.5 area, I think he has a real shot to be RB1 off the board. The only question after the combine is going to be, can he hold on to the football, basically, if it all goes well for him. And then other guys, Jalen Wright, I think he could be the fastest running back we see at the combine. Just pure track star. This is made for a guy like Jalen Wright. Dylan Laube, I think it's Laube, out of the University of New Hampshire, I think can really display his speed. Hopefully he's around the 4.5 area as well. He might be able to sneak into 4.4s actually. And then I think receiving drills with him are going to be huge. He flashed his receiving skills on tape at New Hampshire. He was fantastic. Obviously didn't play the greatest competition. Will Shipley, same thing. I think his receiving ability and his lateral movement drills are going to be really key this weekend. And then Blake Corum, kind of like Michael Penix. His physical is going to be huge. And so are the 40 and I think the lateral drills. The lateral drills, I think he'll really excel at. And then the 40 is going to be like, I feel like it could be like a Jackson Smith and Jigba situation where his 40 isn't going to be good, but his shuttle drills are going to be like really, really good, like top of the class. So as we move on to wide receiver, Xavier Legette is my headliner for one reason. People are starting to compare this man to DK Metcalf, and he might end up being the DK Metcalf of the combine by the end of it. He's got size at 6'3", like 240 pounds or 230 pounds. He's got like absolutely no like body fat. It's absurd. Uh, he's got great speed. The only question for me is his explosiveness might be on the lower end. And then obviously he's got great strength. I think he'll kill the bench press if he does it. Wide receiver is a very talented class, though. Like, there could be any one of these guys that I've listed be the biggest riser this weekend. Malachi Corley, definitely. I think he'll come in undersized, at least height-wise, but he's still like 210, 215 pounds. I think he'll come in at. Ryan Flournoy, Bruce Feldman freak list guy. Javon Baker out of Central Florida, I think is really going to show off his explosiveness. And he's like 6'3", 6'4", I think, too. I think he'll show off his explosiveness and speed. AD Mitchell, same thing. I think a big thing with him is also going to be a physical because he's had injury issues in the past. But if he gets past that, I think he'll kill all the athletic testing along with his teammate Xavier Worthy, who could have the fastest 40 time of any wide receiver or any prospect here. That dude can fly, let me tell you. And then in between those guys, Rome Odunze, he's going to be the top-ranked wide receiver that is there. Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. have both bowed out of any of the athletic testing from what I've heard, and they'll do it at their pro day. So they're just kind of there for interviews, basically. And I think people are going to start to realize how athletically gifted this dude is. He's going to be running in the 4.4s. I think if he does the shuttle drills, it'll be maybe not top of the class, but it'll be above average. You're going to see the route running. Rome Odunze could seriously bid himself into wide receiver 2 after this weekend for the majority of people. Another guy, Jermaine Burton. This dude people are looking at as one of the top deep threat wide receivers of the class. So he could really show off his speed this weekend along with Jamari Thrash. Jamari Thrash is a big one because he'll be a little bit undersized coming out of Louisville. We saw him at the Senior Bowl. He looked good. I think he really could show off his lateral quickness and his twitchiness. Hopefully in the receiving drills, he's consistent with his hands. I'd like to see a lot of these guys really catch with their hands and not their body this weekend. That'll be a very big thing. The line, I forget what the drill is actually called, but when they run on the line and they're catching balls back and forth from different sides, don't catch with your body. Catch with your hands. At least show that you're willing to catch with your hands. That's going to be the big thing that I'm looking for this weekend out of this receiving class. Tight ends, and who else for the headline but the athletic freak himself, Jatavion Sanders out of Texas. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got athletic traits, arm length / wingspan. He's got it all as long as like the measurements come in, which I think they will at a very like elite level. I don't know about his hand size. I'm pretty sure they're decently big, but I think he'll kill the 40 time. I think he's going to kill the passing or receiving drills, I should say. Like this guy, he's going to show off some serious athleticism and prove why he's being pushed up towards the back end of the first round because he is just a freak at the position. Some other guys, Theo Johnson, who really flashed at the Senior Bowl. His measurements are going to be sick as well. I mean, he's listed, I think, right now at 6'6". Penn State is listing him at. I think his vertical and broad jump are going to be huge. Jaheim Bell, I think his height is really going to like determine where he's actually going to go in this draft, because if he does come in at like 6', 6'1", it's going to be hard to like draft a guy that's probably going to only play H-back and maybe slot receiver, but he's also, 6'1", like 250. So it'll be interesting. Devin Culp, I'm sure for some people, is a weird one on here out of UW. I think he does have good size. I really want to see his athleticism, and it could push him up into like mid to late day 3. Dallin Holker, really good East-West Shrine Bowl. I think he's going to really shine in the receiving drills. I really want to see his athletic testing and his measurements, because he's listed right now at 6'5", like 250-ish, I believe. So good frame. Really want to see the measurements and the athletic testing. And then Eric All out of Iowa. His season got ended this year, I believe, by an injury. So I'm not totally sure if he'll be ready for the combine. I think he is a very gifted athlete. He's a weird one, because I'm not completely sure if he's actually ready. Yeah, no, he is definitely not going to be ready. He had an ACL injury, so he'll be there. Maybe he'll do measurements. He's listed at 6'5", 250 right now. Originally went to Michigan, transferred to Iowa last season, played 7 games. Really wish we could have seen his athletic testing, but I'm pretty positive it's not going to happen. So maybe we'll get some measurements on the hands and the wingspan, and we'll kind of just go from there. On to the offensive linemen. Now, I kind of just grouped them up into tackles and interior guys, but my headliner, Kingsley Suamataia out of BYU. This week is perfect for a guy like him, as well as this could have been Olufushanu or Tyler Guyton on here. Like, all 3 of these guys, I think, are going to absolutely murder these athletic testing drills. Absolutely kill them. His measurements are already, like, they're going to come in and you're going to be like, who the hell is this guy? I mean, he already had the measurements at the Senior Bowl, so you really don't need them. But if he does them again, which he might, it is truly incredible, the size of this guy, to also match with the athleticism that he has. His 40 and his, I wouldn't even say his 40. His shuttle drill, I think, is going to really show the athleticism that he has, the possibility to be a pull blocker in the NFL, or swing blocker, whatever the term is. He can run out in front of your running back and block guys down the field, is basically what I'm trying to say. Same thing with Olufushanu. His size and athleticism combination is incredible. Tyler Guyton, I want to see if he even bulked up maybe a little bit from the Senior Bowl. I think he's going to kill the athletic testing as well. Patrick Paul, another guy. Zach Frazier, your first interior guy on this list. Hopefully we can see his speed and athleticism. Javon Foster as well. Would love to see where he's actually going to play with the measurements that come in, because people still have him listed as an offensive tackle. You have seen people list him as an interior O-lineman. Where is he going to play? Where will they have him kind of doing drills at? Is it going to be on the interior? Is it going to be outside? We'll see. Same thing with Troy Fatanu. Is he going to be on the interior, or is he going to be doing tackle drills? He's also another guy that's super athletic. His athletic testing is going to be absurdly good. I think he'll really show his potential to be a really good pulling blocker in the NFL. JC Latham speaks for itself. Dude's 6'6", great athleticism. He showed his run blocking ability this past year at Alabama. And then Kieran McDoji, I believe is how you say it. He basically tackle out of Yale. Kind of an uncertain prospect, at least for me still. I think he can play a tackle in the NFL. Size and athletic testing is going to be really key. Basically all of it for him is going to be really key into where he can actually play in the NFL, I think, this weekend. So look out for him. Kind of an underrated name, but has been a name that's fluctuated up some boards into the top 100. On to the defensive side of things, starting with the defensive lineman, and Maason Smith out of LSU is the guy to watch for me. I mean, it could have been Michael Hall, it could have been Byron Murphy, Darius Robinson, But Maason Smith is a very interesting prospect. 5-star recruit out of high school. Had the ACL injury, I believe, last year. Came back in the last couple of games. He was just flashing all over the field. He has great athleticism. He has great size. His teammate as well, Makai Wingo, could have been on this list, but I left him off because Maason Smith, his athleticism is so crazy that his potential and ceiling as a prospect could be really well, it is really high, but it's going to really depend on the physical. How is that knee? Because if that checks out, the athleticism will take care of itself. Byron Murphy, obviously a guy that has been shooting up first round mock drafts because of his athleticism. I think he'll shine. Michael Hall, I think his athletic testing is really going to flash, though, and his pass rushing drills. Dwayne Carter out of Duke, I just really want to see his athletic testing because I think on tape he flashes some really good athleticism. Darius Robinson speaks for itself. We all saw it at the Senior Bowl. I think he'll kill it this weekend. Javon Solomon out of Troy, I'm pretty sure he was a Bruce Feldman freak list guy. He's been playing a lot on the edge. I think he could play as well on the defensive line as like a 3-4 or 4-3 D end, probably 4-3 D end. So want to see his athletic testing mainly in the short area. Xavier Thomas, kind of like kind of like Maason Smith, former 5-star recruit. I'm pretty sure Xavier Thomas was a top 10, even top 5 recruit out of high school to Clemson. Stayed 4 years, could have been, I think it was 4 years. It might have been 5, but I'm pretty sure it was 4 years at Clemson. Didn't have a ton of production, kind of the hype didn't really live up to what you saw on film. So I think this weekend could be really big for him, as well as his pro day down the line. And his teammate, of course, Rook Horo that we went over in my sleeper video, I think it was. I think this weekend people are really going to see what this guy is about athletically and why so many people are so high on him because of his athleticism as well as his potential, because he is still so raw as a football player. And then Gabe Hall out of Baylor had a really good Senior Bowl week. He flashed some pass rushing upside. So I really want to see where he stands in athletic testing, mainly that 10-yard in the 40-yard dash. What's his 10-yard split? Jeez, that took a while for me to get to. 10-yard split is going to be key for a lot of these guys. Would love to see Maason Smith, Byron Murphy, and Michael Hall as well. Very talented D-line class, might I add. So on to the edge, and just so we know, edge is not a real position at the Combine. These guys are either going to be with the defensive linemen or they're going to be with the linebackers. Starting with Chop Robinson, though, this dude could possibly put on one of the greatest Combine shows we have ever seen, especially at the edge position. And that is no joke. This dude is an athletic freak. He has twitchiness, he has explosiveness, he's got speed, he's got size. This guy might be the biggest riser and firmly put himself back into the first round because he's been falling out of it because of other prospects moving up and his production wasn't all too great. But oh my goodness, dude. Chop Robinson, this dude is going to put on a show. And I hope he does all the drills because he's going to be fun to watch. Watch out for Chop Robinson. I'm telling you, most of you probably already know this. And I wish I could have put someone else as kind of my headliner, but who am I going to put over him? I don't know a lot of other prospects that could possibly have a better weekend at Indy than Chop Robinson. So, like I said, his 10-yard split is going to be absurd. I'm sure his broad jump and vertical are also going to be crazy. If he does the shuttle drills, they'll take care of themselves. This dude is a athlete. On to some other guys, though. Chris Braswell, I think, can really show off his strength as a prospect as well as his burst / explosiveness. Leatu Latu, I'm not worried about anything athletically with him. It's the neck. That's why he's on this list. Marshawn Nealand, I would just love to see the reasons that people are putting him so highly and regarding him as one of the better edge prospects in this class, especially outside of the first round, because I have still not completely looked into him. So I would love to see the athletic testing, and then when I go look at his film, be like, okay, I see where this testing now translates to the field. Adisa Isaac, Chop Robinson's teammate, I think could have a fantastic weekend as well. I think he was a Bruce Feldman freak guy. Chop Robinson was as well, but I'm pretty sure Adisa Isaac was too. I could be wrong, but he flashed at the Senior Bowl, his pass rush move and his bend. Miles Cole out of Texas Tech, also a Feldman freak. Miles Cole is 6'6", 280. So if his athletic testing tests out, he's going to shoot up some boards for some people. Similar to a guy last year, his teammate out of Texas Tech, Tyree Wilson, both freakishly big in size. We'll see what the athletic testing says about him. And then Braelon Trice out of UW. I just really like his potential as a pass rusher in the NFL. I think he has great size. He's got a really good frame. And I want to see how much bend he has in the pass rush drills. I really do. On to the linebackers, mainly the interior linebackers, I should add. Headlining is Edgerrin, Cooper, and I really wanted to put someone else, but I just can't think of a guy that is going to test out better than Edgerrin Cooper if he does the 40 and all the other drills. Man, he's just so athletically gifted, and it shows on tape as well. His speed is unbelievable. I really want to see his sideline to sideline movements. I think that'll really solidify where he stands in people's draft boards. And some other guys, Junior Colson, I think has really good size and athleticism out of Michigan. Peyton Wilson, his big thing is going to be the physicals, how all of those injuries kind of stack up, how his, I guess, body not feels but looks after all those injuries. Trevin Wallace out of Kentucky, I think his sideline to sideline in the 40 is really going to flash this weekend. It flashed already at the Senior Bowl. So we know this guy has some really good athleticism to him. And then Aaron Casey. I've started looking back, and he is a pretty good athlete. He flies around the field. I think he has some extreme potential out of Indiana. I've been told in the comments on multiple videos that I needed to go look at this guy. I finally did. And people, they were right. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him this weekend. And then Jeremiah Trotter out of Clemson had a little bit of a down year. People were thinking he might go in the first round. Didn't have the year that maybe he wanted. Still came out this year in a, I would say, I guess below average linebacker class. It's definitely not the deepest we've ever seen. And Jeremiah Trotter could really put himself back into early to mid day 2. I would say, like kind of with Junior Colson and Peyton Wilson kind of in that area. So it's going to be a big weekend for him along with his pro day. On to the DBs, starting with the corners. My headliner could have been Quinyon Mitchell. I almost did it, but I wanted to give y'all someone else that I think is going to be equally, if not more, athletically gifted this weekend in TJ Tampa, the corner out of Iowa State. Freakishly long. I mean, you can see it on the screen. He's got a very good wingspan. I think his size and speed combination is going to flash this weekend. I think his 40 time is going to be a lot quicker than people think. And I would like to see him in the ball skill drills, I guess you could call them, because he did only have 2 interceptions this year. I want to see, does he have the natural, ball skills? It's the word I'm looking for. And then on to the others, obviously Quinyon Mitchell, stud at the Senior Bowl, best player there. What is the athletic testing going to do for him? Probably up his stock even more, I'll be honest. Cam Hart was also at the Senior Bowl. I loved his size. I want to see his speed and his explosiveness here at the Combine. Nate Wiggins, I'm not worried about anything. I just want to see his 40 time, because some people are saying it could be close to the 4.6 range. It's probably not going to matter to me really what his 40 time is. I just want to see, can he verify it, because his play speed on tape, he's fast. He is. So I want to see the 40 time. Is basically all. Josh Newton, I think, could raise his stock. He was being projected as a possible first rounder. Did not have a great year. I should say TCU didn't have a great year. Josh Newton actually had a pretty decent year still at TCU. He was basically the only one on defense who looked like he was trying to play. So I think he's going to have a good weekend. Jarvis Brownlee had a solid week at the Senior Bowl. Some people even said he was one of the bigger risers there. I'm still really conflicted with his frame. He seems really, really light. Like, obviously, he's got good height. He has really good length. I think his 40 time is going to be really good. I don't know how good his short area quicks are going to be. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Terrion Arnold, I think he's going to absolutely kill the ball drills, like the ball skill drills and the lateral movements. He is a fantastic athlete. I mean, he's just kind of on here because I think he's going to be one of the top corners there in the whole like athletic testing department. And then Jarius Monroe out of Tulane, highlighted him because he was the defensive MVP at the East-West Shrine Bowl. Go check out that video if you want to see more of my thoughts about Jarius Monroe. But I think he has really good size. I really want to see, I guess, lateral movements, but short area quicks as well, kind of along the same lines as Jarvis Brownlee. But I also want to see his 40 time because I don't know where that will kind of line up with the rest of this class. But he, like I said, he has great size. I think he's like 6'2", 215, somewhere in there, or 200. I don't think he's 215. So he does have good size. I just want to see more of the athleticism, and then you can kind of gauge where his potential might end up. And finally, on to the safeties. My headliner was almost the first man on your right, Sione Vaki. And, James Williams was kind of just hard to pass up because he's listed right now at 6'5" at the safety position. So I don't know where, first of all, they're going to put him. Like, are they going to put him with the linebackers because they think he's just a pure box guy? But this dude, along with Chop Robinson, might be one of the guys with, I guess, the biggest name coming out of the combine. Like, I think he's going to have freakish measurements. His wingspan and his hand size, I think, are going to be freakish. Obviously, he's listed at 6'5". So even if he goes down to, say, 6'3", basically 6'4", I don't think it's going to matter because his size for the position is so, like, in the 99th percentile. It's insane. And then his speed is projected to be pretty quick. So I think my top two guys are really going to be James Williams here and then Chop Robinson this weekend to watch out for. I think these two guys are going to put on an absolute show at the combine, as well as Sione Vaki and James Williams' teammate Cam Kitchens. I think one of the better ball skill safeties, or ball hawking safeties, I should say, in the draft. Sione Vaki, though, I wonder if they're going to let him test with the running backs or if they're just going to do the safeties and then maybe at the pro day they're going to ask him for some running back drills because you really don't know where he's going to play. Like, let's be honest, we don't know. And then Jaden Hicks, WSU guy, go Cougs. I think his athletic testing and his measurements are going to be really good this weekend. People are really going to see why I am so high on him, first of all, and then as well as other people, why they're so high on him because of his athletic testing, I should say his athletic traits, as well as the potential that he has. I kind of highlighted Cam Kitchens, but I think he's just going to solidify himself as kind of the top safety there. Tyler Nubin, really want to see his athletic testing. I think he could possibly kill it and overtake Cam Kitchens as the number one safety because those two have kind of been flip-flopping for some people. Kalen Bullock, I really like his size. I want to see where his 40 time ranks up. I think it should be pretty fast. We'll see, though. And then Carlton Johnson. I want to see if he's put on any weight since the Senior Bowl. Obviously, that'd be a really quick turnaround. The Senior Bowl wasn't even, it was like, a month ago? Not even. So, really like to see if he's bulked up at all, if he does measurements again. Other than that, let me know or who y'all are watching this weekend. Who are you kind of eyeing? What's like your top guy or top positions that you're looking out for? I imagine for most people, it's going to be the wide receivers and the edge group. I think this safety class, along with the edge, is going to be really, really exciting to watch. I don't know what day that's going to be. I think all the testing starts on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. Let me know as well if you guys would like to see a live stream. And also, posted something a little bit different on the channel. It was F1 season coming up. I posted a 2-play crew with my guy Elisana. So please go check that out. Let me know what you're thinking. As another housekeeping thing, MLB The Show 24 just put out their trailer. I believe it comes out March 19th. Let me know. I put out a community poll. Who y'all want me to do a franchise for, just like the Bears franchise. And Bears franchise, we're still doing it. So go check that out. Cole Kmet had a crazy game last time I uploaded. But yeah, let me know. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.